What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Vince Warburton and this is VW Fitness. Today we are talking about inspired nutraceuticals, Devastate pre-workout. Let's get to it. For those of you that are new to the channel, guys, we do weekly videos every single week. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe and bell for notifications. We talk about BCAAs, we talk about proteins, we talk about energy drinks, we talk about pre-workouts. Last week we did talk about a pre-workout. This week we are talking about another pre-workout. We're kind of hitting on a lot of pre-workouts because one, I'm backlogged and I need to talk about pre-workouts. And two, the new year is right around the corner, guys. And as much as this year, 2020, I think we can all be looking forward to 2021, hopefully, and getting back to some sort of normalcy. I know that a lot of us are trying to lose some of that quarantine weight, the holiday weight, etc. So pre-workouts are probably going to be a big one going into the new year. So for those of you that are returning to the channel, welcome back. I appreciate you guys coming back to the channel. I appreciate all your guys' support. Now, if you're returning, you're probably wondering, like, where the heck am I? Because I'm in a different space, right? I'm on this really boring gray wall here. With some colored lights and literally my usual kind of setup here. So essentially, I have my best friend and his wife coming into town, and they're actually going to be staying here for a couple months. And so I've got to move everything out of the YouTube studio, and I'm actually in my own bedroom now. It's kind of crazy that we're kind of taking a few steps backwards here. It's all good though. I'm very excited to get back to this sort of setup. It's kind of very intimate, etc. So I'm pretty excited for it. I also want to do some painting in that room so that when we do return back into that room here in a few months, it'll be a little bit different of a setup. It'll be a little bit more clean, and we won't have those disgusting blue walls that I absolutely hate. So for now, this is kind of what we're working with. There is a possibility I might move down into the garage because I have a single car garage downstairs that I could potentially try to turn into something, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see. So for today though, let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, we break down a pre-workout supplement review into 4 different parts. We're gonna talk about number 1, price, 2, the label ingredient breakdown, thirdly, the taste, and then lastly, we're gonna talk about the effects. Now this review is a little bit different. Again, we're kind of changing things up. We're kind of working through a lot of different things, kind of finding the rhythm with getting back into the pre-workout review. So I've actually already taken this product. Usually I open the product with you guys live, in a sense, live on the channel. I've actually ran this for 1 day already. Yesterday was rest day. Today we're back at it. So this is day 2. I'm gonna run this for 3 full days. So it's a little bit different. So just kind of keep that in mind. But we're gonna kind of see where things go and kind of what feels the best way to review the product. All right, so let's just jump right into it, guys. Price, this comes in at $46.99. That is for 25 full servings, kind of a weird, unique amount there. That price per serving breaks down to about $1.88 a serving, which on the consistent pricing scale is gonna come in at a 4 out of 10. Now, I was just on Inspired Nutraceuticals website, and this is actually sold out currently. So, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not sure if you can even find it. They may be restocking, I have no idea. So this product has actually been sitting in my house for probably about 4 or 5 months. Bought this, I think, back in July, and it's now December, obviously. So it's taken some time to kind of get to this product just because we did take a break in the pandemic and all that sort of stuff. So price point wise, it's kind of expensive. Honestly, I thought it was 30 full servings. I literally shot this and then I had to look at the back of the label and it says 25. So, you know, with the 25, it's just 4 out of 10. Like, the price is always going to be subjective here, you know. Kind of depends on what you're willing to pay and if the effects really come together and what it's worth to you. So that's the price point, guys. Let's move into the label ingredient breakdown. Let's pop that up here now and let's get into it. 14.2 gram scoop, like I said, 25 full servings in here. We start out with their Truth Matrix. Now, the one thing about this I'm actually really happy about is that it's not just a matrix and then they don't tell me what is actually the amounts of the ingredient. This is a fully disclosed label, which I can appreciate. I think at this point in time, every single supplement company should be doing a fully disclosed label. Like, if you're not, you're living in like 1997. So we start out with 6 grams of L-citrulline malate. We do not know the ratio of that, whether it's a 2 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 1, whatever it might be. So to be honest with you, it's hard to really judge that. That is gonna help with the vasodilation, help with the pumps, help with blood flow throughout the bodies. And we obviously want that while we are working out. So don't really know how much is in there of actual citrulline to malic acid here, but overall, still happy to see 6 grams. Like, I'm gonna guess it's probably a 2 to 1, maybe a 1 to 1 ratio, which would leave us a little bit under my usual 4 to 6 grams of pure citrulline. Next up, 2.5 grams of betaine anhydrous. Just talked about this ingredient actually on the last supplement review. It's going to help with muscle power output. It's going to help with that blood flow as well. Overall, this ingredient is definitely in the majority of pre-workouts that I do see. It is very well researched. I do like seeing it, and 2.5 is a good clinical dose. Next up, 1.5 grams of the arginine nitrate as NO3-T. This is going to help again with the pumps. It's going to help with vasodilation. It's going to help with power output, everything that kind of combines with the citrulline along with the betaine anhydrous here. So it's kind of a nice little combination here. And I think that's why they don't necessarily tell us exactly how much citrulline to malic acid there is in here, because you are getting a secondary ingredient here that does target kind of vasodilation here with the NO3. Next up, we have 1 gram of the Peak O2, which is a kind of combination trademarked ingredient that is going to kind of combine with helping with muscle power output. It's going to help with the pumps, kind of an overall kind of ingredient. A lot of studies here and a lot of promising effects here. Personally, I've started to see Peak O2 a little bit more in pre-workouts, so kind of interesting to see as companies kind of, you know, find new ingredients, and it's obviously good to see it here, 1 gram, solid amount. Next up, we got that Prestige Worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide.
Energy here. Yeah, I know, I just made that joke. 500 milligrams of the choline bitartrate. It's funny, we just talked about this ingredient in the Nutrix Warrior pre-workout. That is like the lowest amount that I would even take. I said that in my last video. I think that there are better forms of choline that they could have put in here that's better absorbed, better utilized within the body. So, you know, they're at least trying, but I think they could have used the better quality ingredient here rather than going with the choline bitartrate. Next up, 500 milligrams of L-Tyrosine. That is the absolute lowest amount that I would go with tyrosine. Honestly, we've seen it 1, 2, 3 grams. In some pre-workouts, 1.5. I think for me personally, I like to see at least 1 gram. That's kind of where I like to sit. It's gonna help with that mind focus, kind of a nootropic, if you will. And overall, you know, like those ingredients really kind of contrive to come together with the overall stimulant, and I think it can give you an overall great workout. So definitely like to see a lot of nootropic ingredients, as long as they can come together really nicely and pair well with the rest of the actives within a supplement. Next up, we have 300 milligrams of natural caffeine from green tea. Now, I have never been a fan of natural caffeine. The reason why is I don't really feel like I get a huge stimulant rush from it. I've taken natural caffeine just in pill form, and it just does not kick like caffeine anhydrous. Now, a lot of people can argue this one all day and say like, oh, well, I don't want the quick up and then sharp down, whereas the natural caffeine is gonna be more of kind of a rolling hill, is kind of how I like to put it. I personally would prefer the sharp up and then straight back down. That's just kind of how I am with stimulants. Like, I'm a stim junkie. I like, and I'm chasing that kind of high energy quickly to really get a solid workout, especially within the first 2 to 3 exercises. I want that energy right off the top. All right, next up, we have 200 milligrams of the Advantra Z 20% citrus aurantium fruit, which is basically known as synephrine. I'm a fan of synephrine, okay? I think it is a solid ingredient. I think it has a lot of benefits in terms of an ingredient, especially in a pre-workout. It's been shown to basically utilize fat cells as energy. Obviously, like I just said earlier in the video, we could all lose a few pounds with the holiday quarantine weight. So I do like seeing that. Next up, we have 125 milligrams of Dynamine 40%, yielding 50 milligrams of that 125 milligrams. Again, kind of another energy ingredient, gonna help kind of with stimulation, not as heavy hitting as caffeine, like we've kind of talked about. And that kind of goes right in tandem with the next ingredient, which I talked about again in the last pre-workout, which is 50 milligrams of theobromine, which is, again, it's more of this kind of rolling hill kind of energy. And to be honest with you, like 50 milligrams is pretty low. I think the last pre-workout we talked about was 200. So this is coming in a little bit low, but just remember that you're kind of combining 3 different ingredients here to kind of bring together your stimulation. So I think it's hard to kind of, you know, ding companies when they don't put a lot of one ingredient because they may be supplementing it with something else, hence the supplementation. And last up, we have 25 milligrams of the Canna Ease. It's gonna basically kind of level everything out. This is on the lower side a little bit, but again, like, I think some of us don't really want that like sharp, they don't want that like kind of buffed out. I'd rather have that sharp up and then kind of come down and maybe take a little bit of like an energy drink later in the afternoon or a cup of coffee or something to kind of get me through the rest of the day. Now, I think overall the label is fully disclosed. I think some of the ingredients are a little bit low. Is it missing some things for me? Beta-alanine is one. I love the tingles. I'm chasing the tingles, if you will. I would love to see some creatine. I think it's a cheap, easy ingredient to put into a pre-workout. I know that is a very controversial thing for me to say because some people really hate it. They do not want any creatine in their pre-workout, which I understand. But for me, that's what I would like to see. I would love to see some estrogen in here for some absorption of all these ingredients. And to be honest with you, that's probably about it. I would love to see caffeine anhydrous rather than natural caffeine, but that's something that we could argue all day. So in terms of the label ingredient breakdown, guys, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. I think it's right up there with the majority of other pre-workouts. I think it's a little bit under on a few ingredients, but we'll see how it all comes together in the effects portion of the review. Now, like I said, I have opened this. Let's move into the taste. Here is what it looks like. Just kind of your standard powder here. No clumping, which is great. I know that was a big thing for me last time. We do have this in the Galaxy Pop, as you guys can see here. And this does recommend 8 to 10 ounces of water. We have about 9 ounces. We are still splitting. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing down here on the table here. You know, there's a possibility we might be able to put a table maybe like right here, but it is very tight in this little space, so very difficult. We are gonna do 1 full scoop here. We are starting the week off again. This is my chest day, so we just came off a rest day. So there's the 1 scoop. I'm trying to show you guys as much as I can, but obviously pretty difficult. So a little bit of some powdering there, as you guys can see. And let's give this a nice good shake. And that's what we got. Kind of an interesting color, and that's why I noticed actually yesterday when I did run this, or 2 days ago, sorry, when I had the first kind of dose here. Mixability is pretty good. A little bit of some stuff on the bottom there, but nothing too bad. Foaming, absolutely none, I would say. Looking really good here. Now, let's give this our taste test. Cheers, Galaxy Pop. Okay, so this is kind of what I felt like yesterday, or 2 days ago. I don't know why I keep saying yesterday. Overly sweet. It's very sweet. It's kind of sour. It tastes like you're really eating like a bunch of Sour Patch Kids, but more sweet. I mean, overall, it tastes really good. Honestly, like I like it. I like things a little bit sweet, especially since I don't eat a lot of sugar outside of my pre-workouts or my BCAAs or my HydroCharge. Like I'm not drinking a lot of sugar whatsoever. There's no sugar in this as far as I know. Yeah, actually, there's no calorie list on here, so I have no idea. There might be some sugar, but I highly doubt it. It's probably sucralose in here or some sort of sweetener here. I think it tastes really good. You don't get any of that supplementation kind of flavor. There's nothing on the back end that kind of makes me feel like, ugh, don't like it. Overall, in terms of the taste, guys, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. I think it's really nice, but do be warned, it is sweet, but then you get that nice little sour. So we're gonna finish the rest of this. We're gonna head off to the gym. We're gonna run workout number 2 of this pre-workout. We'll come back and we'll talk about the effects. Now let's talk about the giveaway, guys. So all you have to do to win this tub, this one right here, the one that I'm gonna take 3 scoops out of and the rest I'm gonna give away, guys. I'm gonna send this off with an official VW Fitness shaker cup and we're gonna send this off to you. All you have to do is head on over to the Instagram. The rules are right here in front of you. You have to like the post, you have to share the post, you have to comment. What are you gonna comment? DVST8 2020. That's all you have to do. We'll pick a winner within 24 hours. Just make sure you head on over to my Instagram at DVW Fitness. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, guys. I will check, and I really appreciate all your guys' support. This is a way for me to kind of give back and for product to not really go bad. If you guys want to win this tub, make sure you enter the drawing. We'll pick a winner. Anyway, we'll see you guys here soon. All right, guys, let's get into the Inspired Nutraceuticals Devastate pre-workout effects portion of the video, and let's get right into it. So let's talk about the pumps first off. I would say overall, this pre-workout actually gave me pretty good solid pumps. Overall, like arms, which I kind of combo with my back and my chest days, triceps, biceps, etc. Overall, pretty good pumps. I'm feeling it pretty good. Good mind-muscle connection there, and a lot of blood kind of pushing into the muscle tissue is what I can kind of feel. I can kind of attribute that to obviously hydration, a lot of different things, but my routine has pretty much been the same the last few weeks, so nothing's really changed. So I attribute that to the pre-workout. Now let's talk about kind of the and that's going to be the energy and focus. I didn't really feel like, let's talk about energy first. I never really felt like the huge spike of energy like I'm always kind of chasing. As a stim junkie, I kind of want that high caffeine anhydrous synthetic kind of feel. Now, I do feel like I did feel some of the synephrine in here, more or less. Did I sweat more? No, not really. Did I, like feel like I had more energy? Not really. It didn't really come together the way that I was really hoping, and I'm not really too sure why it would be like that. For me, honestly, I just prefer a caffeine anhydrous. It's just more of a jump. And overall, the workouts were good. They were all about an hour to an hour and a half long, and they were good. They just weren't like amazing from what you're looking for in a pre-workout, at least for me, and what my results were with this pre. Now, the focus was kind of, and I heard this actually from a couple other reviewers in regards to this pre-workout, it was kind of all over the place. I didn't really feel like super focused whatsoever. I didn't feel, it almost felt a little bit of anxiety in terms of like just trying to get it done. And I didn't really have that kind of nice, mellowed out, just dialed in focus. It was more just like, let's hurry up and get this done. Again, my workouts were still about the same amount of time. It's not like I rushed through it, but I do feel like I did have a bit of anxiety throughout the workout, or I was trying to kind of chase the energy, trying to like find it within the pre-workout. And it wasn't, the pre-workout wasn't supplementing me, right? I was kind of trying to supplement the pre, if that makes any sense. So overall, guys, in terms of the effects of this pre-workout, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10. I don't think it's great. I do think there are some good pumps in here. The pump ingredients NO3. You got the betaine, you got the Pico 2. I think that combination for the pumps is actually pretty solid. Just the mind, focus, and energy didn't come together for me in the best way. So honestly, it's gonna be a 4 out of 10 for me. Now, I do know that they have another Devastate pre-workout that is currently available on their website that does have caffeine anhydrous. It has a little bit more stimulants in it. I'd be really interested in trying that out, comparing it to this. But overall, it's decent. It's not bad. I'm gonna send this off to one of you guys. You guys can tell me your thoughts. Make sure you enter the Instagram drawing. Follow me on Instagram at DVW Fitness. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and bell for notifications. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.